So, hello, ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, Signora, Signores. Thank you to be with us tonight. This is one of the first international web conference for La Ferme Digitale. So La Ferme Digitale is an association of startups, French startups, becoming more and more international. So we are going to talk about ag machines, data connection, data exchange tonight. My name is François THIERART. I'm the CEO of MyEasyFarm. I'm very happy to have with me tonight Peter Koch from John Deere and KREKOW from AGCO. We are going to cover the topic tonight together. So first of all, we will have a brief introduction with some slides from Christian and then from Peter. And we'll be happy to answer to your questions just after. So please write your questions in the chat. And we'll cover some of them if we can at the end of the presentation. Let me just share my screen. And introduce the topic. So just to introduce the topic, so you know that in agriculture there is more and more data available to the farmers. Since a long time, we have access to data from the satellite, using, for instance, the Sentinel data. There are a lot of informations coming through the drones, through the major sensor that could be in the field, like weather stations. You have a sensor that can really record what's going on in the field. But the new revolution in agriculture is really that the fact that the machines are now becoming connected. So the tractor, the harvester, the sprayer, all these machines now can receive data and can send back data. And this is really the revolution that is coming in agriculture. And of course, all these things goes in the direction of the precision farming. Precision farming, in one sentence, the right amount at the right place in the right time. As I said, I'm the CEO of MyEasyFarm. MyEasyFarm is a platform to aggregate all these data and more specifically to exchange data with the machines. And so today, I'm pleased to have Christian KREKOW from AGCO and Peter Koch from John Deere to explain what is their vision on the data exchange with the machines. So Christian, I hand it over to you.
Thank you. Can you see my presentation?
Yes. Almost.
Okay. So hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Christian KREKOW. I'm working in the Fuse product management team since February this year, and I'm responsible for data management topics in AGCO. I started my professional career with the French VIE program of Business France, together with CNH Industrial in the Precision Solutions and Telematics department. And there, as a product specialist, I supported the dealers and the farmers in terms of their connectivity questions, and I was also helping them in the field. Afterwards, I joined the company called FarmFacts, which is the leading farm management information system provider in Germany. And there I've been responsible for the sales and service in southern Germany. First of all, I would like to talk a little bit about Fuse, as I do not know if everyone is aware of it. So what is Fuse? Fuse comprises all the digital solutions like guidance, telematics, and also field data management in AGCO, and it's represents also all AGCO's brands from Fendt, Massey Ferguson, and Valtra. And Fuse is based on 4 main pillars. So the first one is that we have an open approach, which means that we have many partnerships in the industry, and that we give the farmers the flexibility in their choice of machinery and software, and also in the services that they want to use. The second one is we are aware that not every farmer has only AGCO machines, and so we are willing to connect those mixed fleets of the farmers. Then data privacy is very important to us, which means that the data belongs to the farmer, and he can decide what he wants to share and whether he wants to share his farm data with us, or if he would prefer another trusted partner. And the fourth one is as data handling matters. Our solution should be easy to handle, and the information and the data should be available anywhere and anytime. How do we achieve this? So in our field data management solutions, we have mainly 3 different approaches, which I will present in the next few slides. The first one that already exists for several years are the direct connections of our machines to certain farm management information systems, which means that some third-party FMISs that would like to connect directly to our terminals, like MyEasyFarm, Next Farming, Trimble FarmWorks, 365 FarmNet, and many others. So currently we have 21 directly connected FMIS systems. They can do it, and so we can transfer data from the office to the machine, and also from the machine to the office via USB stick or via cellular line directly. And data can be master data like fields, chemicals, fertilizers, field boundaries, guidance lines, tasks, prescription maps, or also as applied maps, and so on. And here the advantage for the farmer is that he has a free choice of which farm management system he wants to use, which is quite important in my opinion, as farming in the various regions around the world is very different, and also concerning the regulations for documentation, for example. And so a global platform from a manufacturer will never be able to handle the legal or the local differences. And so the farmer can choose whatever system fits best to his needs. Then secondly, we are shareholder of the Agrirooter. A short background to this: the DKE data company was founded in 2014 as a non-profit organization, and the shareholders financed the development of the neutral data exchange platform Agrirooter. And the launch of this platform was at the SEMA show in February 2019. And so the Agrirooter platform is only transferring the data, but it's not looking into the files, or so it's just transferring it from the different machinery and the different connected software solutions. And as this is an open approach, new shareholders and partners are always welcome to join. Moreover, as not only machine manufacturers and software providers can connect to Agrirooter, but also all the companies from all areas of the agricultural value chain can become a partner. Data exchange with the Agrirooter is possible along the whole value chain. So let's say from seed to food. And the Agrirooter offers also some other interesting functionalities. For example, you can create a paired account, so which means you can connect to your contractor or to your advisor, and you can share specific data like certain fields that the contractor should work on can be directly shared with him. And then last but not least, the third solution or approach is our own new Fanone world. So Fanone is our own platform which enables the seamless data transfer between the onboard and offboard world. The platform, which will be launched next year, beginning of next year, is designed as mainly as an entry level for farmers with no or little experience in digital solutions, and so it will mainly focus on high frequency use cases. So in the first launch, there will be a field manager, a task manager, a fleet and a team manager in the portal. And moreover, the portal will be connected to Agrirooter platform, which allows the connectivity with other machinery and also with other farm management systems if this is required by the farmer. Also, the manual upload of certain files like ISO XML, shape, and adapt will be possible. But the main focus of Fanone is really on usability. So we want to offer a really nice user experience to the farmer. And why are we doing all these efforts? So we believe that those technologies will reduce the ecological footprint of farming, and it will also make agriculture more profitable for the farmer. So that's it from my side. I will hand over to Peter.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Christian. So thank you for the presentation. I'm sure that we will have, I can see the first question arriving. So we'll take all the questions after the two presentations. So we'll come back to you for sure. So Peter, your turn to present.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, and we can see your screen.
Yeah, just a second. I will go to presentation mode. So, okay, now you should be able to see the presentation, right? Yeah, before I start, maybe let me quickly try my French back from school. So, bonjour mesdames et messieurs, je m'appelle Peter Koch. Je travaille chez John Deere au Centre européen de technologie et d'innovation. Situé à Kaiserslautern en Allemagne. Je suis heureux de faire partie de cet événement aujourd'hui et je vous apporterai quelques réflexions sur le sujet de la connexion de la flotte. That's it with my French for today.
Thank you very much, Peter.
I had a little help, yeah, but I hope everybody understands that I now go on with English. So the goal for the next 10 minutes is to talk a little bit about why we are striving to connect the fleet of customers, so arable farmers, contractors, and what is the benefit basically behind. And if we look to the headline of this slide, you see that the machine capacity today doesn't stop at field boundaries. So this is a John Deere presentation. That is why you see a John Deere sprayer here. but also, let's say, the machinery that, the company from Christian provides, they do all an excellent job of providing good work in the field. Yeah, they have good features like single nozzle control, and you see that on the front door, new technologies are already knocking, like spot spraying. So we see that machines are getting more intelligent, but on the other side, what we also see is that there is an increasing demand to get this information from the machines, and this is agronomic information and machine information, so information about the job, to get this information into the office. So we made an enterprise market research where we asked farmers and contractors, why are you so interested to collect this information? And here you see the top 3 answers, and there's no big surprise. So more than 70%, they said, well, you know, first of all, I need this for my agronomic analysis. And there's a lot of value in the data. So I'd like to find out, for example, which variety performed best in the yield. Things like that, or what can I do different in order to unlock a certain economic headroom. So the second answer then was compliance reporting. You know, I as a farmer, I'd like to also demonstrate to authorities once they come to my farm that I have done my work correctly. Yeah, I'm committed to the work, and here's the data that is that proves that what I have done is correct. And finally, if you ask contractors, and they definitely say, you know, I need this information as input for invoicing. So among all the participants and attendees tonight in this call, I assume that most of you have a smartphone. And the smartphone taught us to do a different behavior. We now demand information in the here and now. So, for example, irrespective where you are, you can check your bank account. You can check the weather information. You can check news and social media. And so this shows us that the same is true for the office. The office no longer is the 4 walls where you're sitting at a desk with your laptop or your computer and where you log in. We also see more and more that basically it is anywhere, and you want to access the time, you want to access the data at any time. So there is a big driver to overcome the USB device, because the USB stick, the USB device, often it takes time to get the data from the machine into the office. And there's also a risk of losing that data, or you have a big delay in getting the information. So that is why you see that more and more telematic solutions are coming out in order to access information at the time when you need it, at the place where you are. So we can say as an output here, data handling matters. But, and this should be expressed in this picture, we have a challenge to overcome. So don't focus so much now of the color of the tractors here. Just keep in mind there are 3 different tractors, for example, machine A, B, and C. And all of them, they have different implements. The one on the right-hand side, for example, is doing tillage, whereas the machine in the middle is doing a seedbed preparation, and the one on the left-hand side is doing planting job. So, but that's not enough. Then you also recognize, okay, there are different operators. Mike, he's a staff, he's a member of the farm. The same is true for John. And finally, you have Laura, but she's a seasonal worker, so maybe not familiar with each and everything. So where is every field? Where do I need to go next? And so on. And finally, you see that these 3 operators, they are in interaction with a farm manager. So the farm is somewhere else, and there needs to be a connection to these machines. So maybe we do this with telematics. Maybe we still do it with the USB device. Maybe we also use our smartphone and connect the display to the smartphone to wirelessly send the information to the office. And that's not still not the end. Then this farmer also wants to exchange information with the dealer, because the dealer may have a service agreement in order to support the uptime of the machines in the field. And there is also maybe a relationship to somebody else who helps you with the decision, the advice of the job in the field. How much do I need to spray? What do I need basically to keep in mind for the upcoming, let's say, nurture season? So, and that's why it seems to be a very, let's say, complicated structure here, in a way that you have a lot of people you need to connect, and also machinery with different formats, with different elements. And finally, we all think that there's this one and only solution of an FMIS that can handle all of this. At the moment, this is still kind of utopia. Yeah, this is hard to overcome. But I can show you at least what John Deere is now doing to make it easier for farmers and contractors in this challenging situation. So our ecosystem, let's call it this way, our cloud solution is called the Operations Center. And you see in this slide, there's still field and office, anywhere, anytime. So getting data into this ecosystem in the John Deere environment works pretty easy. Yeah? We have our John Deere language, which our ecosystem understands pretty well. That is what you also expect, yeah, when you work with a green on green, so a John Deere on John Deere solution. Well, implements like Isobus implements, they are connected to our machines, and we forward this information in the John Deere language then into our cloud solution. With that, we do this mostly with our telematics solution JD-Link. The beauty of this is that it enables farmers and contractors to access the data pretty fast right after the execution in the field. And whenever, for example, a combine is unloading the grain to a grain cart, it triggers an action which updates the progress bar, which you can check on your smartphone. So you know how much of the field already has been harvested, for example. Then, as Christian described it in his presentation, farmers don't farm with just a monocolored fleet. So in order to support mixed fleet owners, yeah, this is why you have these colored icons here. Most of the displays talk another language, and this is the more standardized language, ISO XML, so data format, or they have their own proprietary format. And that is what was also not easy then, let's say, for us to learn that language, to understand that language, and to make this compatibility basically happen. So in situations where you don't document fieldwork, because there's simply an older machine that has no precision ag equipment, you can still record this task using your smartphone and simply key in like a manual documentation and exchange this as well. From an office perspective, you then, as you have seen, might want to share this information. So that is why we also thought about, okay, how can we handle that? And so we need to support relevant data formats to make it possible for the farmer to exchange information as seamless as possible. And an element which I would like to point out here are the so-called John Deere APIs. APIs, it's an interface, it's kind of a John Deere language, but you see that using these APIs, we have more than 180 connected software companies. That means software companies that are exchanging information back and forth with the John Deere Operations Center. And there's also the Data Connect initiative, which I will explain in a minute. Finally, you see that when this operation center is used by a farmer, for sure other farmers also use this, and you can connect to each other. And this is also the way how, for example, your trusted advisor can access your information. But keep in mind that the data sovereignty and basically the access rights are provided by the farmer, and he can revoke these access rights at any time. So here you see basically all the companies. It's not complete. These are 132, but in the meantime, we have more than 180 companies globally connected to this ecosystem. And you can imagine it the following way. When you, for example, purchase a new smartphone, Android or Apple, and you open the box, you have basic functionality. This is the operation center. So you can, for example, give a call, you can text a message, or you basically can access the internet. But if you want to have an app, for example, that allows you to identify the music that you're listening to, you download it from an app store, and then you customize your phone, yeah? And the same is like with our ecosystem. Once there is not a solution in the ecosystem, you can still connect to a company that is providing that information. So finally, my last slide for today is the Data Connect initiative. This is going to be launched in fall this year. So it is targeted for end of October. What this is about is a direct cloud-to-cloud communication, and the participants in this initiative you can see here on that slide, which is basically classed with class telematics, then 365 FarmNet as an FMIS, and then also the CNH cloud solution, and finally the John Deere Operations Center. So the intention was to overcome the biggest hurdle in precision ag for mixed fleet owners. So if they want to identify where's the fleet, what about the progress, and so on, they often had the issue to log on for John Deere machinery in the John Deere portal and then log on for class machinery in class telematics. So with Data Connect, once you have set up, let's say, both telematic systems, customers can go on and decide to just go with one portal where they do all their daily work in. And with that, we allow a near real-time data exchange on a cloud basis. And we can basically also incorporate machinery that are maybe 5 years old, but still have a telematics device installed on their machine. So Data Connect has 5 data points that we exchange, which is current location, location history, the fuel tank level, the speed of the machine, and if it's turned on or off. That's what we will start with in fall this year. And with that, I'm happy to also hear your questions, answer your questions, and that's it from my side. And yeah, thank you very much so far. Merci. François, you are muted.
Sorry. Yeah, so thank you very much. And we have already some questions coming. So probably the very first one, and I think it's quite important. It's probably for both of you. Let's say this is a nice presentation and marketing, but on the ground, what is the cost for a farmer to really be connected? So what does he have to do to connect his Fendt tractor or John Deere tractor? So please answer first, Peter, and we'll go to Christian after.
Okay, so when the customer decides to purchase a 6R, 7R, or 8R tractor, the telematics comes in base. It's in the base price of the machine. For sure, you can also deselect it. It will not influence the pricing of the machine. It comes in base. This means whenever you decide to invest in a John Deere machinery, you automatically take part in this digital infrastructure I have shown you. But for sure, it's up to the customer finally to decide whether he really wants to do it or not.
Okay.
And the cost for the operation center and the My Operations app is 0.
Okay. Okay. So I understand that this is today when you buy a new tractor, this is for free.
Exactly. Also, we have retrofit solutions where it's about the telematics module around 800 euros list price, plus then the dealer that helps you to get this basically mounted into your machine. And then you can also get 2 years license or subscription free of charge. Yeah.
Okay. Same question to you, Christian. What is the cost today to have a connected tractor?
Yeah, it's similar for our machinery. So if you buy a new tractor, the possibility to have the telemetry and also task dock possibilities is free of charge for 3 years. And after this period of time, you need to buy an annual subscription. And what you need in general is a local SIM card that if you want to have the wireless connection. For example, the Fanone portal will be free of charge as well. And for example, the Agrirooter, as it's a non-profit organization, it's also free of charge for the customer. If you want to connect to a third-party FMIS, of course, it's their part. How big the costs are for connecting their solution to our machines.
So thank you, Christian. So I understand somewhere that on both sides, John Deere or AGCO new machines, this is for free. Of course, there might be some cost for retrofitting the existing machines, but the cost should not be an issue. I also got another question for you, Christian, regarding Agrirooter.
Mm-hmm.
Can you provide open specifications for the format of data exchange, or what is the format of exchange in the Agrirooter environment?
Mm-hmm. The Agrirooter is handling standardized data, so it's also based on ISO XML format. And but like I said, anyone who is interested can connect to Agrirooter. So it's an open approach, and also other data or types of data are possible. But for connection to the machines, it's mainly, or the most important one is ISO XML.
I've also several questions regarding who is owning the data. So for instance, in France, there is a label, the name is Data Agri, which says that the data is owned by the farmer. At any time, he can get his data back. The platform is not going to share or sell the data from the farmers. So what is your position on this? Maybe for Peter.
Yeah, so the data sovereignty of the customer is in his hands. Yeah, and let me start this way. Before we actually start switching on the telematics service, the customer first will receive, let's say, paperwork, together with his dealer, to walk through basically the terms and conditions. And in the terms and conditions, we give them basically the transparency on what happens behind the scenes. So when the customer decides with whom he wants to share information, and this he can do in a 3-level approach. The first is the so-called team manager in the ecosystem, where he can very granular decide who can basically see my agronomic information, and he can go down on a field level. Same is true basically for all kind of information in that ecosystem. And the second level then is, do I want to share my data with John Deere, so that John Deere, on the other hand, will come up with a service, like, for example, the so-called expert alerts. Yeah, here, John Deere exactly knows, okay, this is the machine of François, and the machine is out there, yeah, because we then need to observe you in order to provide a service. And whenever your machine is going to maybe get a downtime or produce a failure, we need to detect this early enough to inform the dealer that it's your machine. So in this case, the customer gives consent. He actively needs to provide consent, and we share with him the information on what kind of data John Deere is now using in a non-anonymized way in order to basically come up with a solution. And the third level, and then I finish, sorry for my long explanation, is when we connect to third parties from a John Deere perspective now, the customer needs to provide his specific approval. He needs to actively say, I'm connecting now. Yeah.
Okay. So another question, this is more regarding the adoption, because you've said, so we know that there are technical solutions that are ready. You said that for new equipment, this is almost free to make it. So what is the adoption, and what are the main difficulties for today adoption? So if I listen to you, every farmer should be connected or have connected machines today, which is not the case on the market yet. So what is your vision on that? And then we go back to Christian.
Yeah, so it needs to go hand in hand with the dealer. So because, you know, if I download an app for a cinema and register for a movie, nobody needs to help me. But you have seen, let's say, the picture where I tried to visualize how, let's say, complex the entire topic is. There are so many parties involved, stakeholders involved, and to get this basically right from the beginning, the John Deere dealer is the one that is locally available to the customer, who then helps the customer to set up an account, make sure he understands what basically he needs to do then in order to benefit from the system, and helps him really to get up to speed. And then we, in a best way, try to support farmers in the portal with help files or with release notes when something has changed. But it definitely is a challenge. And it's not that you simply snap with your fingers and then you participate fully in the digitalization. No, it's a step-by-step approach, and that takes time. But you need to be committed to do this. You need to have the willingness to do this. Yeah.
Okay. And Christian, what is your vision on that, on the adoption? What is refraining today to have every farmers connected with his machine?
Yeah, I mean, also, like, I can fully agree with Peter, like, also from my own experience when I've been working directly with the farmers and the contractors or the dealers. It's really depending on the persons. If you have a dealer or a partner which takes the farmer's hands and explains everything to him and shows him how it works, then that's a big advantage for the farmer. And I mean, in the past also some solutions were not the easiest one to handle. That's, for example, from our perspective, where Fanone comes in, where we really want to focus on usability and to provide an first touch point for the farmer who have not so much experience with digital solutions, like I explained. And also for bigger farms or mixed fleets, also like we've shown in our presentations in the past, there was the the interoperability between the different brands have been a problem, but with the different approaches like Data Connect, Agrirooter, and whatever, we are going in the right direction, I think, to make the farmer's life easier. And also, another point is that the legal requirements or the reporting system is also getting strengthening more, and that's where some farmers also investing in digital solutions to make their documentation, and if it can be done on the tractor, and they don't have to sit in the office in the evening after a long day, it's a really advantage for not perhaps in terms of money, but just in comfort and in time for the farmer.
So if I can bring my value there, I think yes, technical solutions are available today, but there are still some training to bring this precision farming in the field somewhere, and this is for you guys who are in Germany. Probably you need to train your local organization country by country, and then of course the guys who are touching every day with the farmers, who are the dealers. So yes, I think all the value chain should be trained so that on the market and on the field everything really works well. So just one last question, because we are already very late. Maybe for you, Peter, because we get several questions regarding the autonomous machines. You have shown at Agritechnica new technologies there. So what is your vision on that, and what is going to be the value of autonomous machine, and of course data that are coming from the platforms to those machines?
Yeah, so that's a pretty tough question, because
make one full conference on that.
Some of the elements are still, let's say, uncertain for sure. But for those of you who have attended Agritechnica last year, I mean, you saw at the Future Technology Zone on the John Deere booth that we have, let's say, shown some examples of semi-autonomous vehicles, and autonomous vehicles, So you remember maybe the tractor with the tillage implement there. If I consider this from, let's say, a marketing perspective, it's not just that we say, hey, within the next 5 years we have these machines out there, and everybody can use them. Then it's a little bit trickier in a way that, it's not just designing and building the machine and making it able to do the job. It's also the environment around. And I'm talking about, you should not be an IT specialist that has 3 years of study to code and program what the machine has to do. You need to develop also an interface that allows you to quickly control such kind of machines. They themselves need to be constantly connected, because they need to look whether the weather conditions are right to access a field. Is it too wet? It's not possible. Is it too dry? It's maybe too dusty. You're too close maybe to a location where dust is a problem. So you need to also consider the entire environment, and this goes hand in hand with the technology itself. So the machine itself, again, we showed the studies, it can work, but the surrounding also needs to fit, and here there's still development effort in front of us.
And there are also legal discussions on that are different in Asia, in Europe, in USA, that should be probably brought on the market.
And also society, let's say, challenges of acceptance and things like that. So there's way more than just the technology itself.
So I can see all the questions on the 5G adoptions and things like that. There is a big debate at the moment in France around 5G. So of course, this would bring on the market for agriculture, it will bring also value. But of course, this can be a full conference. Maybe we organize another conference specifically on the autonomous machines. So thank you very much, Christian. Thank you very much, Peter, for those 2 short exchanges. Thank you for the audience to have been with us and for your questions. For those that we did not answer, probably we can address them directly. So please come back to me and I'll be able to transfer the questions. This conference is recorded, so you can have a replay of that available on YouTube. The next La Ferme Digitale LFDayLive session will be on the 1st of October, and you will find the topic of the conference next time, starting tomorrow morning on the website of La Ferme Digitale. So thank you very much to have been with us, and let's try to all help the farmers becoming more digital. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.